leaders lead the younger guys and then follow your veterans?
I think adversity does something to you, right? And if you embrace adversity, it can shape you to who you are. And obviously that's been the case through Jalen and his career. But it is about embracing adversity. This game's not easy, and this game has its ups and downs. And that's how a football game, seasons have ups and downs. From year to year has ups and downs. Well, that's how a football game goes, right? And nobody in the NFL, I've said this a bunch, nobody in the NFL pitches a perfect game. That doesn't exist in the NFL. You're going to have bad plays, you're going to have good plays, and it's about being able to focus your mindset on the next one. And so, like I said again, this team's embraced adversity. I don't think you never know, but the things, even going back to the 2023 season, which we haven't talked a lot about since the beginning of the year. We're grateful for that. We're thankful for that. As bad as it sucked at the time, I know I'm grateful for that. I speak for myself. I'm grateful for that because it shaped us into who we are now, and why a big reason why we're back here sitting at this moment again. And so, embracing adversity is huge. And for your development as a person, as a player, as a coach.
Over here on the left side, Jeff McClain. Nick, 2 years ago, Jason Kelce was responsible for pre-snap calls versus the blitz against Kansas City. Now that Jalen Hurts is, what kind of challenges does Steve Spagnuolo's blitz packages force a quarterback when he has to throw hot?
Yeah, obviously, no matter who's responsible for protection calls against the Steve Spagnuolo defense, it creates issues and challenges. At the end of the day, with a defense like the one we're playing, with the great players that they have, and I just can't say enough about their coaching staff and the players that they have. I have the utmost respect for them, and obviously they've been doing this at a very high level, at the best level in the NFL for multiple years now. But I think what's important in those moments against teams like that is you have to play your rules. You have to be ready to adjust, and you have to be on the same page. Now, that's easier said than done. They make it challenging for you. But this is what you prepare for in training camp. This is what you prepare for during OTAs, meaning you play your rules and you adjust to the different things that are coming at you. And when you're good on offense, my experience has been is when you're good on offense, you watch the tape, you get ready for the tape, but you got to expect the unexpected, and that's the definition of his defense. Of the confusion that he creates. So we'll have to be on it. We've had a good week and a half of preparation so far. We got to finish that off to give us an opportunity to be successful against him.
We've got Sam Farmer, right side, middle.
Nick, I'm interested in your relationship with Larry Karras over the years and sort of what you've drawn from him, how he maybe helped mold you as a coach.
Yeah, I've known Coach Karras since I've been 10 years old. Both my brothers played football for him in college. Then I kind of followed in their footsteps and did the same. So, Coach Karras, I have great parents that have taught me so much. And then, you go away from home for the first time, away from those strong parents that I have. And he's like, a dad away from home there. And, it's not just me. There's so many coaches over the state of Ohio. There's so many coaches, from Tommy Manning with the Indianapolis Colts, who played for him, Matt Campbell, Jason Candle. I mean, I could go on and on, all the guys that played for him that he's helped develop us. And I think the main thing, a couple big things I learned from him was that connection, and just caring about his players. I always felt like, how much he cared about me. He was always trying to get me better, and that doesn't mean, I have a lot of stories of how many times I got yelled at as well. So just because, he cares for me doesn't mean that he's not extremely demanding. And I would say that's the other thing, the demand. Just extremely demanding in the detail of the game of football, as a coach, as a player. And when I talk about my core values as far as, for the Eagles and my envision of when I got the head job of what it was always about toughness, detail, and together. And, I mentioned him being, together and detailed. So 2 of the 3 that we really talk about a lot. And I know he's tough as heck, and he had us to be tough. So really all of them, but owe him a lot. And there's a lot of coaches when you get your opportunity to be a head coach. I was fortunate enough to have a lot of coaches take me under their wing and kind of help me. Starting with my dad, my brothers, Coach Karras. I can't tell you how many times Frank Reich, when I was his offensive coordinator, or even when I was his quarterback coach and he was the offensive coordinator, how many times he would be like, hey, when you get in this situation, here's this. I mean, that felt like a daily occurrence. And so just very grateful for all the coaches that I've had that have took a liking to me, or whatever, however you want to say it, to help me grow.
All right, front left here, Elliot.
Nick, Jeff Stoutland said last night that it was your idea during an OTAs to try Mekhi Becton at guard. I'm curious, what did you see in him that you thought he could do it? And then also, he's been a player that after each win this year, it seems like it's emotional for him because he hasn't had a lot of winning in his career. What's it been like for you to watch him go on that journey to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think we all saw that Mekhi had a lot of talent, and we knew that we were pretty set there at the tackle spots with Jordan and Lane, and just the contributions that they've made and the players that they've been for the duration of their career. And we had a battling spot there for the guard, and we talked about it as coaches. We talked about it. I talked about it with Howie. Just everything. Every good idea comes from collaboration and communication with each other. So, I can't say that, hey, that was my idea. Stout said that, but I know we came together with that as a staff, and with Howie and his staff as well. Means a lot when, I'm emotional, as you guys know, and so, at the end of games, and I think sometimes when I say I'm emotional, you kind of think of different things, but I can't tell you how many times after a game I'm overcome with emotion, with just everything, and I love when other players are like that too. And so Mekhi and I have had some really awesome embraces after games, and I love about Mekhi that there's been games where he's just been exhausted and his body just is tired and limping off the field after a score, but had that smile on his face and had that connection with his teammates of, man, I just gave everything up for you guys. I did, and I love that about him, of just, man, he's giving it up for his teammates. He truly loves his teammates. His teammates love him, and he's been a great addition, obviously, to this team for this year.
Front row right here in the white sweatshirt.
Coach Sirianni, obviously you faced this team a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl. Pretty familiar in terms of personnel, but in terms of the way they attack offensively, it seems like things have changed. They were a really high-octane, explosive offense a few years back. This year it's more of a ground-and-pound, situational football. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, as I described it to Coach Reid. What do you see when you turn on the tape, the differences between that 2022 KC squad and this year's 2024, maybe a little bit more defensive-oriented squad?
We've played every year that I've been the head coach. We've played Kansas City 21, 22, 23, and now here in 24. And, what I see on tape is I see just the detail. Again, I have so much respect for the players that they have. They have top-notch players. And then I have so much respect for Coach Reid and his staff of the detail. I think the detail kind of oozes off the tape with the way they run block, with the way they, are always on the same page. I can't tell you how much respect I have for that. But you have to be ready to prepare for everything, knowing that they have one of the best players of all time on the other side with Mahomes. And they can do it many different ways, and so you have to be ready for all different types of things. It's always going to be about stopping the run, limiting the big plays, tackling well, getting off blocks well, coming after the football well. And so we know we'll have our work cut out for us, but again, it's going to be that detail that we have to they'll have to match us and we'll have to match them as far as the detail goes, because I see two teams that are highly detailed and highly skilled that are about to battle against each other.
All right, gentlemen over here on the left side.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Zach.
I'm curious, you talked about you're emotional a couple minutes ago. How has your personality changed, or maybe your approach changed from everything you guys have been through the last 4 years?
Yeah, someone asked me about like just the culture and how that and your core values. How does that change? Well, your core values don't change. It's who you are. It's what you believe in, and so you stay true to that. The toughness, detailed together, and I think it's really the same. It doesn't mean you don't grow, but those stay the same. And I think that's the same thing with your personality. It doesn't mean you don't grow in areas that you want to improve on, but if you start to be somebody and act like somebody that you're not, I think the players see through that. You have to be genuine, and you have to be who you are, because, shoot, I'm in here a heck of a lot more than I'm at home. And so at some point, if I'm not being true to myself while still growing, then they're going to know, that I'm being a fraud. So I think it's just so important that you stay true to yourself and you grow. I ask the players to try to get better every single day, and that's what I try to do as well. And that can be from anything from, I think there's a time to show your emotion and there's a time not to show your emotion. I think I've gotten better at that as the year has went on, as the years have went on. But to say I'm going to stop being excited when we score a touchdown, all the work, or stop being excited after a win with everything that we lay on the line to do so, or that I'm not going to yell to correct or yell to praise. That's just not who I am. And it's hard to, again, you're always trying to improve and get better. But then there's some 43 years of habits that sometimes are hard to break.
Back right side here.
Coach, good afternoon. You and Andy Reid have had a lot of success in this league, and you kind of touched upon it earlier about him being so detailed. But from one coach looking at another coach, why do you think Andy's been so successful?
Yeah, obviously I've got to work with guys that have been around Coach Reid, and just hearing his stories of, again, his detail, that that he could coach every position on the field and call the defense, call the offense, be the special teams coordinator, just how much information and knowledge that he has. I think you can tell he deeply cares about his players. And those are the things, not ever have been around him, that I can kind of to look and admire, because I do like to study great coaches. And obviously I've looked, I will always ask, hey, what would Andy have done in this situation if I'm talking to somebody that's been around him? And I'll do the same. I would do the same thing with guys that had been around Coach Belichick, all those different guys, because you're constantly trying to learn. So just have the utmost respect for him. I mean, I would say he's had a lot more success. He said we both have success. He's had a lot more success than I have. That's 300 wins is wow. I can't. It's an honor to go against him. To be in a game that I'm coaching our team and he's coaching his team. It's just an honor to be there. And like I said, just nothing but respect for Coach Reid and everything that he's accomplished.
All right, we've got time for two more. Gentlemen here on the left middle.
Congratulations, Coach, for getting back to the big game. I have a two-part question. Number one, let's talk about your off-season moves with the coaching staff. You added Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. Tell me how you feel about the way those moves have worked out. And then the second part to that question is, how much has Kellen Moore meant to your offense, knowing full well that he may be on borrowed time, that he eventually will get a head coaching job?
Yeah. Obviously, both guys have meant a ton to us. Again, you can't be great without the greatness of others. Coaches to players, players to coaches, coach to coach, player to player. And so both guys have done a phenomenal job. I think, I said this early in the year. I think we've hit, this was during like training camp, and just see the detail that they coach with. Obviously, I spent a lot of time with them, knowing the guys a little bit, and then in the interview process, and then also in OTAs. And I think we hit 2 home runs with those hires there. Anytime, and again, we're focused on this game. Kellen's focused on this game. I'm focused on this game, not really thinking about anything else other than this game, because every little bit of attention that you put into something else is attention you're not putting into what the main goal is. And so, with Kellen, and I know that there's, you know, opportunities potentially. You know, what happens will happen. But hopefully I've done my job to teach him the things that I know and help him like other coaches have helped me as far as that goes. But I know that when Kellen does get his opportunity, I think he's highly detailed in teaching the game of football. I think that he loves this game. He works extremely hard. He's got a great offensive mind to help our guys, to put our guys in positions to succeed and get better. And man, he's a phenomenal person, great person to work with. That's so important, right? When we're spending more time with each other than we are with our families, our wives, our kids, it's important that you have good people around. And he, you know, as good of a football coach as he is, he's even a better person. So got a lot of respect there, and for Kellen, and we'll see how that plays out at the end of the year.
All right, last question, second row.
Yeah, Bob always, for you guys that aren't normally with us, Bob usually cuts us off, and then I'm the nice guy, and I'll say, has anybody else have one or two more? So we'll do the same thing there. All right.
Hey, Nick. As a head coach, you've got to make a lot of tough decisions. Two things. What do you expect out of players after you make that tough decision? And I'm thinking of Jalen Hurts, who was benched in a national championship game. He's come all the way back. What do you think about that, how he's reacted to a tough decision? Yeah,
you know, you as a coach, it's really important that the job description is very clear. Here's what the job description is. Here's what it looks like when we're meeting the job description, and I'm talking about plays on the field and off the field. And here's what it looks like, what it doesn't look like. And you have to paint that picture, and everybody's held to the standard of what that looks like, and you coach off of that. Yeah, in head coaching profession, you know, there's not a handbook that says, hey, here's exactly what you should do in this situation. Every situation's different. Every scenario is different. You may have handled a situation similar one time that you're going to handle differently the other time. You're always and constantly thinking about what you can do for the betterment of the football team. Always, and the individual that you're making the decision with, you're always thinking about that. And sometimes that's going to be, again, sometimes decisions are 50-50, and that's leadership. Sometimes half the public or the team is going to agree with you. Sometimes the other half's not, right? But that's leadership, and that's the choice we made when we entered this profession. As far as your question about Jalen, I think, again, I mentioned this earlier, that we all have these moments in our life where we have adversity, and again, adversity is not going to hide from, you know, it's coming after everybody. No one's hiding from it. And it's about how you respond. It's about how you react. It's about embracing that adversity, knowing that when you do that, it can help make you better. And so look at Jalen, he's such a winner. He's won everywhere he's went. You know, that moment, and now he's starting in his second Super Bowl. So I think the writing's on the wall that Jalen embraced every piece of adversity that he's hit, and it's made him better. Again, you can ask him about all that, but I just see a guy that does that, you know, obviously knowing his story, and then I see a guy that does that in the midst of each game. And you have to be able to do that at the quarterback position. Shoot, you have to be able to do that at every position in the game of football. And so just admire the heck out of him, you know, how he embraced that adversity, because, again, it shaped him to who he is.
All right, left side here, second row.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon. Speaking of Jalen, based on how efficient your passing game was in the NFC Championship, what did you learn about the capabilities of your passing offense going to this one?
Yeah, just like Jalen says, just because we don't do something doesn't mean we can't. We'll win we're going to look to win any way we can. I've never doubted our passing game with the people that we have there, with the coaches that we have there, with the players that we have there. So, you know, there have been games that have been dictated differently this year. If we need to run it 50 times and pass it once, we will, to win. If we need to do vice versa, we will. And we really don't care what anybody else thinks. Our job is to win games and try to win games the best way we can for our team. And like I said, just because Jalen said it, and I loved it, just because we haven't done something doesn't mean we can't.
All right, last one, back right.
Hi, Nick. Andrea Sola from TV Azteca, Mexico. Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I have a question for you. If you have to tell me 3 things that Philadelphia is better at than Kansas, what would you say?
Philadelphia better than Kansas City. Well, I've lived in both places. I started my coaching career in Kansas City. My wife is from Kansas City, from the Missouri area, not from Missouri, not Kansas City. So I got to be careful here if I'm there. But both great places. They're both great places. But I love Philadelphia. We love the food in Philadelphia. We love our sports teams. Love being a Sixers fan now and a Phillies fan, and a Flyers fan. And then, shoot, I didn't have Bob and Dom in Kansas City, so those two guys there as well.
All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Players are available until about 1:30.
I'm just sitting back, I'm in the front, and I'm just sitting there listening to the question. I'm like, man, I'm glad that I don't have to worry about that. It means a lot. I love playing with them. I know they're having a good time. Having fun with them. I'm telling you.
I don't think the whole thing is, at least defensively, our scheme hasn't changed. The communications are all the same. I think we're just all committing to the same thing.
Very much like that.
Yeah, it's cool being with me. I think he's the epitome of whether it's in the locker room, on the field, he's always there for his guys, checking up on them. I think he's just taught me how to be a great man.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. Went down to the Senior Bowl, killed it. Great player, great person. He should be hard to draft for.
And what advice do you have for other players that are entering the draft process that maybe don't have, the biggest name or don't go to the biggest school? What advice would you have for them?
Yeah, just put your head down and keep working.
Kendrick being the halftime top being a competitive sport itself, who you got in the battle with Kendrick? Who's on off in the locker room?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay. What's his go-to?
play a lot of old.
You got a favorite album of all time?
Nah, not really.
Okay. You just cool, calm, collected.
He's like a father figure. You know, he's going to hold you accountable. He's serious, but he got jokes too. He's funny as well. So I kind of say all that in one.
When y'all, Malcolm Harris got a special Olympics and fan excited. Being a special, I'm a special Olympics athlete. What does inclusion mean to you?
You said what?
I'm a special Olympics athlete. What does inclusion mean to you?
You said inclusion?
Yes.
I don't know what that means. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What does it feel to feel accepted?
Included.
Included. Not
Okay,
excluded from things.
Okay. I mean, it means a lot. You know, just being from a small town. You know, when I went to college, just being accepted by everybody, and just coming into the league. You know, being accepted by my veterans. So it just means a lot.
Thanks, Quinion.
As a rookie, are you more wary of trading your jersey, doing a jersey swap with someone? Does one keep your jersey more?
Yeah, just doing what we're doing all year, just doing our job. You said what? Yeah, he's just welcoming. I feel like we got great vets in the room. He just be like, don't call me.
Hey, so I played in the MAC too. I played NIU, played baseball there. Obviously, being from Toledo, not necessarily a football powerhouse from Power Fives. What is it coming from the MAC, and what did you learn at Toledo that helps you get to the point where you are in your NFL career?
I would say the biggest thing is just staying grounded, just being where your feet are. I don't know, probably some Kodak Black, something like that. I can't think of it.
How about this? Do you have a favorite sweater? No? Do you have a favorite kind of milk?
Yeah, I see that.
Brandon Graham, what's he meant to you as an individual, but also like team-wise? What does he bring to the locker room basis, even when he's not playing?
Yeah, BG, he just bring that veteran presence. You know, he always coming up to me, you know, giving me advice every single day. And, you know, I appreciate it.
You said every single day? Like,
yeah.
What's the best piece he's giving you?
You know, for a long stretch, I didn't have a pick, so like every week he would just tell me just keep going. So.
Speaking of veterans, you're really close to Slay as well. How are they preparing you for this moment? Because they were just here 2 years ago. What's the biggest piece of advice they had coming into this?
Yeah, just eliminate distractions. That's pretty much it.
How have you guys maintained that level of normalcy?
You said a level of what?
Of normal. I mean, you guys stick to a routine constantly throughout the course of the season. This week is not routine. How do you maintain that, avoiding distractions and keeping it as normal as possible?
Yeah, just treat it like a normal game. You know, just more media and just on a bigger stage, but it's just a football game.
You could add one former Eagles player to help you win the game on Sunday. Eagles history, who would it be and why? And if there was ever a player in the NFL history that you wanted to play with, who would it be?
I wouldn't add anybody. I'll just keep our team the same.
Yeah, I know.
That means a lot. You know, I have some family friends that have special needs, and you know, I love them. I grew up going to church with them, you know, and seeing them every Sunday, every Wednesday, and you know, it's cool to see, cool to have talks and friendships with them.
Reid, do you have a prediction for who's going to have a big game on Sunday?
I'm I'm not really big on predictions, but I hope all of us have one. I hope Jay Hurts goes yard, and AJ does his thing and Saquon. Shout out to all of our defensive guys just playing that complete game.
Hey, Coach, how are you, my man? Tell us about that nickname. What's that mean to you when you get it?
I think I got it my rookie year. I got it for some obvious reasons, but it's just stuck. And then obviously there's nicknames that have transpired through my whole career, which some of them are good, some of them are like, why? How do you even think of that? But no, I enjoy all these nicknames and try to embrace them all.
Tell me about the season. You played your first season in the NFL with him. How did he impact on the team? Why did it start meaning to you?
Oh, it's huge. Having that emotional type player, we missed him. We missed him off the field and on the field. What he brings to this team is different. You really don't see that. And sometimes, I told him before. I know how he like the 22. I saw him on the sideline, whatever. I was like, look, man. I said, you say whatever you want to say. When I come up to you, I tell you guys, chill out. You gotta chill out. So, I let him do his thing, man. He's confident. He trusted me. I trusted him, and we just have fun with it. I really don't like thinking that far ahead. We've always thought, or I've always thought, I'm sure a lot of other guys thought, just one day at a time. We knew it was going to be a grind, regardless of who you have on the roster. You just got to click. It doesn't matter if you have all the superstars in the world, they got to click. So I feel like that's what we did the most. Like, we built this family, this brotherhood. Like I said, started OTAs. We just ran with it. Sirianni's done a great job. He implemented in that. We did the leadership council. He put, a couple new guys in there, and me being a part of it, it kind of opened my eyes. Like, okay, this team kind of trusts me to lead in a different way, not a vocal way, but in a different way. Like I said, it starts with Sirianni, where he's built this program. After the bye week, because obviously you're 2-2, early bye, everybody is criticizing you for the most. You can either go down in the dumps big time and never come back out, or you can say it's us against the world. We're going to lean on each other, everybody's shoulder, and just go with it. And I feel like we did that, and obviously we ran on a really good run, and now we're here.
You go back to that bye game, I feel like everyone always brings up the bye game. What happened in that bye game? That meeting?
It's like a wake-up call. We didn't really have a sit-down meeting like, woe is me, but like we knew what we put out, against the Bucs before. That wasn't us. Let's just be real, that wasn't us. And like I said before, we're all men. What's great about our team is that we admit when we make mistakes, we admit when we're wrong, we're coachable. So shout out to all the guys, man. We started this thing from the beginning, and here we are now. Well, listen, Athens, Alabama was like 30 minutes away from where I just say that because you can see it easier on the map. But I'm originally from Anderson, Alabama. So small town. Probably maybe the same size as Cooper's now, I don't know. But then let me tell you, all those blue-collar people work hard every day. My dad, my mom, everybody in my family, got up, went to work, didn't complain. It's still to me, my work every day. And shout out to all the people that allowed me to work on their farm. Long hot summer days after workouts, hauling hay, doing all that. It builds characters. Just have fun, embrace it. Don't let anybody tell you no. Make sure you have a really good, solid support system. That's what everybody. Like I said, my parents and everybody else back home, they're the biggest support system to me and my fiance now. I'm glad she's able to experience this with me. I wouldn't say there's too much adversity. Like I said, just treat it like another game. I'm having fun with it. I'm watching film still, doing my routine.
Speaking of routine, did you change any practice routines during this week?
No, nothing changes. Probably after Brazil. Obviously, I didn't know too much about Zach. I knew a little bit about his background. Didn't play a crazy amount. I guess the Saints. But man, like, just to watch him work. I don't think he didn't even miss. Knock on wood. He didn't miss a game. Like, he's a dog. Like, having 12 tackles every game, plus PBUs, guard, like tight ends, receivers, like whatever you ask him to do, he's going to do it. And plus, communication is like a huge part. And man, like, I trust this guy, I have confidence in this guy, and I just love watching him succeed.
Reid, you mentioned Bailing Hay. Do you have any favorite memories from growing up on the farm?
Actually, I do. It was about like a group of 5, probably, I think I was a sophomore or junior in high school. Like I said, after workouts, we would go and haul hay, 5 of us, and we would dog tire, throughout the whole day. And, it's just fun being around guys like that, just watching them work. We're having fun with it, even though it's hot, 90-something degrees outside. We're still having fun. You're with the boys. So.
Reid, the phrase Kansas City Chiefs, you're in the Super Bowl. How do you think that evolved into the second half of the game?
I feel like I learned a lot more. You learn from your mistakes. Obviously, I had a different role in 3-2, and played last year, started my first time last year. And just being around, the vets and different coaches and asking them questions. And, there's always room to grow and always room to learn. That's what I try to do. Go to each year, like, what can I do better, and continue that throughout the year.
The phrase, Nick says it to us basically every day. Behind the scenes, I say it as much as he says it.
Yeah, he says it constantly. I mean, that's one of the truest quotes ever. I can't be great unless CD, unless Hughes great, unless Slade's great, unless Zach Lon's great, unless Jordan Davis great. All 3 levels, plus the offense, especially. You can't be great without the greatest level. That's true. I mean, that holds with everything. That goes with everything.
And when you think back, when did you introduce that? Because it's not something I heard him say in the past.
Yeah, I think it was OTAs. I think it was when he started.
And did it resonate with you right away?
Yeah, it's true. Like, wow. He's right about that.
Reid, you made a lot of big plays.
What did you learn about your investing strategy as you've been in the NFL?
Money can go a long way if you do it right. Luckily, I have a really good foundation as a good financial advisor. I try to budget my money as much as I can, and he does a great job and guide me what I should do.
What was your first big ticket purchase once you signed that contract?
Well, I think I bought a truck. I say my dream truck. That ain't nothing.
What was it?
It's a GMC AT4S. It's not a foreign car or anything. It's just a regular old GMC.
Have you hauled any hay?
Since then? No. It's not built for that.
Reid, you made a ton of big.
He's one of the top coaches that I've ever been around. What he does for us, not just being CD, but the whole group. He does the extra work, extra film. Makes it, like I said, the job description easy for us. I can call him right now, he'll answer me. And it's just one of those relationships that probably would never get broken.
Like I said,
I don't think it's a lot of coaches.
That's a huge motivator, not just with everything else. For the offensive line, pass blocking is like you're dodging punches, and run blocking is we're throwing haymakers. So
That's how I love it. And but no, from a defense point of view, when you're able to run the ball and you're able to sell play action, they can't tell if it's another run coming, and so it puts them in a conundrum. Whereas the guys that's usually in a gun and they're running to a spot, get to a point trying to sack the quarterback, and then chase the run on their way. So a little bit different approach for the defense. Yeah, training camp, about the first 10 minutes of it. Yeah, it took me about 10 minutes, but yeah. No, I watched him from afar. I knew he was, his abilities, but, he really put it all together this year and showed what he's really about.
What a favorite BG story from over the years?
Probably him just talking trash so much that Fletcher would get pissed off and tell him to shut up multiple times, like throughout the games. So that was funny. Them two together were funny. They were a funny duo.
Then what advice?
I don't know. They're tired of seeing me. I don't know. Well, I'm 34. I'll be 35. So it's generally people are done about 2 years ago.
Then what advice?
Probably Anthony Munoz.
What advice did you give your teammates that maybe have not played in the Super Bowl?
Enjoy the experience. Understand this is what it's about, and we're back to practice tomorrow, regular meetings, but enjoy it while you're here, but realize that it's a business trip. Not very long, but we had a good run in training camp, and from there, after the Green Bay game, it was like, okay, let's get rocking. No, I mean it's more challenging in some aspects of the run game because he's going against guys that are anywhere from I feel like I've seen some 5'11", 5'10" D tackles out there from anywhere up to 6'7", but you're naturally out leveraged. But his length. He's extremely long for a tackle, and it's putting that in a smaller space, so he makes passing off games easier for me. And he keeps developing in the run game, so he put all that. That's the reason why he was drafted where he was, Say it again. Very well done. Don't know how he did it, but no, it was one of those situations where, you don't know how it happened, but here we are. Well, you can only control so much, and a lot about thinking you're going to win or what are we going to do doesn't translate to action. So I don't know. We got to be focused. Leading to this game, there's a lot going on, but realize that we're here for a business trip. That's a good question. I don't know. Definitely run blocking, but I will say a nice deep ball to AJ is good. I just hit the bench. There's times where people are getting held, but there's also times when people flop like they do in the league. And so sometimes they get away with one, but that's one probably the more annoying one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they do the gritty work that people don't necessarily see, but every offense coordinator and everybody in football knows the importance of it, and I think they're the best, one of the best tight end duos in the league. Grant's really had a tremendous year. He just keeps improving, from where he came in early. He had some catches last year, but this year was, he had some really, really big ones for us. And he works hard. Dallas is a freak athlete, man. And them two together, they do a lot
lot of special stuff. Thank you. Just one. No? Yeah, just one. Very same response. Sometimes it's fun. The Washington one wasn't fun when we did like 4 times in a row, but one every now and then it's not bad. It kind of gets you ready for another drop.
What's your response to those teams?
Well, I don't know. I think they're trying to just promote player, safety, player health, and so I don't know. I mean, it's the quarterback sneak has been a part of football for forever. It's just they put more of an emphasis. There are more cameras on it now, so that's how I see it.
Some people have described personality as mild or laid back or quieter. Does that matter to guys?
No, what matters to me is whenever he gets on the board and talks to us and you really see what type of genius he is. And then, so those actions speak louder than words, but he's able to command the room. And he's a fun personality. You know, when we're just eating, we're in the dining hall. There's a lot of depth to him, and he lets, I guess, few people see it. But when he takes over a room when he gets up there and is able to be a genius. And so that's how I see it. Yeah, I mean, really, but that's with everybody. You know, you get guys in, and you know, you have a few meetings with them, and then after a few practices, and then you know, after a few you know, practices again, I guess in training camp, we're able to go against other teams, joint practices. We're like, okay, we're going to have a chance here, and so, but that was, you know, we knew that pretty early on. I don't know, he might. It's a good question, but even when he was in Dallas and what he was able to do with Dak, you know, I think he was a big part of that. You know, obviously I have respect for him as a player. He spent a lot of time in the league and was one of the best, you know, college quarterbacks in history. So you know, there's a lot to kill him.
Lane, you talked about the halftime of the Super Bowl. You've been in 2 of them now. You'll be in one this time. Are there things you're doing differently this year as opposed to last time to maybe have a better second half?
We have a little bit more time to use the restroom. That's about. We don't have much time during like actual games. Now the halftime is extended, so mostly we were talking about, you know, making adjustments. Now we didn't translate, but it's pretty similar in both games where we have a little bit more time, and most of it is, you know, we have our projectors. We're sitting there, we're going over different plays for different series, looking at different blitzes, and you're trying to, you know, see what they may have dialed up for the second half. Say it again. Passionate, dog mentality. Dog. I don't know. I got to come back to that one. Yes. I didn't know much about her personally. I was able to pick her mind about football, and she was, she was a beast. I mean, she was very, knew as far as our offensive schemes, what we were trying to accomplish, the yardage, you know, from an analytical side, she knew that. And then personnel-wise, she knew, you know, what we were looking for as far as guys we were looking to draft, O-linemen, D linemen. So she was very knowledgeable of the game. But I can't remember how many years she was with us, but yeah. So that was 2018 or 20? Okay, yeah. So it was those years. So yeah, I believe she go to was it Cleveland? Cleveland, yeah. She could. So. Sean Holes, I think, used to be the strength coach for us, or was strength coach my rookie year. I think he's doing player performance. So we have a few guys over the Browns, but no, I think she's a brilliant mind, and I mean, absolutely, I think she has a shot. When we played Myles Garrett, I was reading a couple pages off that book, trying to find my inner excellence. But no, he gave us a copy a few weeks ago. We had it in our locker, so I actually have it. It's here with me. So yeah, no, there's definitely times, you know, I've highlighted some lines out of it. A lot of it's first couple pages are about the samurai code. So look that up.
Last question. The Sao Paulo game had a special meaning to the team to believe to get all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was a team bonding experience. You know, it was a lot of time. My first time to Brazil, and you know, going to the stadium, just seeing the passion, and I was, I think, just overwhelmed. I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, my bag's right here.
Mine?
No, mine is right here.
Oh, okay.